One Zambia, One Nation. Thank you so much for joining us on the news desk with me, Amos Zulu. The top stories. Zambia IMF reached staff-level agreement. Government receives over 1 million doses of malaria drugs. Zambia's 2023 economic outlook to enhance investment potential. Here are the details. President Hakainde Hichilema has called for the establishment of processing plants in African countries to process raw materials, as it will create local jobs and spur economic development. Mr. Hichilema observes that African economies are losing revenue and jobs in exporting raw materials. President Hichilema said this at the Mozambique-Zambia Business Forum held in the city of Beira in Sofala Province of Mozambique. Here's a report.
President Hakainde Hichilema, who was in Mozambique for a 3-day state visit, has wound up his visit here after gracing the Mozambique-Zambia Business Forum in Beira city of Sofala Province in Mozambique. It was at this event where the head of state said time has come for African countries to begin exporting finished products as opposed to exporting products in raw form.
Africa has taken years, 100 years, 200 years, trading in primary materials. Time has come for Africa to trade in value-added products as well. You heard me. It helps create more jobs, add more value to our economies.
Mozambican President Filipe Nyusi called for enhanced trade between Zambia and Mozambique, taking advantage of the two nations' geographical locations.
We are sure that this forum is going to serve as an opportunity to explore the business opportunities in both countries for the promotion of the image of Mozambique and Zambia as the private investment destinations in a continuous manner, and today marks the beginning. This forum has been strengthening the relationships between businesses.
The two presidents also took time to tour and appreciate some of the products being processed by Zambian and Mozambican firms. Exhibitors, both from Zambia and Mozambique, exhibited at the forum, which was being held under the theme Accelerating Trade and Investment between Mozambique and Zambia.
Your presence at this forum demonstrates the great importance that your respective governments attach to the growth of the private sector, who are key partners in national development.
With this business forum, we are able to strengthen our economic relationships between the countries, and we consolidate the business sector participation in the economy.
Earlier, President Hichilema and his delegation toured the port of Beira, which Zambia uses for high importation of goods such as fertilizers, fuel, among other products. The president was led on a conducted tour of the 3 terminals, among them the fuel terminal, general cargo terminal, and the containerized terminal, to appreciate the level of investment and see opportunities of how Zambia can further utilize this investment for the benefit of the Zambian people. President Hakainde Hichilema has since left Mozambique for Zambia through the Beira International Airport. Kalan Muchima reporting for Zanis in Beira City, Mozambique.
Zambia and the International Monetary Fund IMF staff have reached a staff-level agreement on economic and financial policies that will anchor program implementation for the next 12 months. The agreement follows the first review mission for the Extended Credit Facility program following a visit to Lusaka by an IMF mission team for Zambia led by Alison Holland. And the IMF has commended Zambia for successfully implementing a number of homegrown reforms to reduce the fiscal deficit and increased social spending in 2022, alongside steps to strengthen public financial management and good governance. Speaking on the IMF announcement, Minister of Finance and National Planning, Tumbeko Msokotwane, highlighted how the country is committed to prudent utilization of public resources. He added that Zambia is pleased to see partners recognizing the progress that has been recorded in reinvigorating the economy. The minister said the agreement will help the country achieve its economic recovery and attain sustainable growth, further thanking the IMF and all creditors for their continued support. This is according to a statement issued to Zanis in Lusaka by Secretary to Treasury Felix Nkulukusa. Still in health news, more than 1 million malaria doses have been received by the Zambia Medicines and Medical Supplies Agency ZAMSA in order to build a sustainable high-impact national response to accelerate progress towards malaria control. And ZAMSA says it has since received more anti-malaria drugs and intravenous fluids, which will soon be distributed to all health facilities across the country.
Malaria has remained a major public health problem in Zambia and one of the leading causes of death in the country. But the government, through the Zambia Medicines and Medical Supplies Agency, ZAMSA, is building a sustainable, high-impact national response to accelerate progress towards malaria control. ZAMSA has since received more anti-malaria drugs and intravenous fluids, which will soon be distributed to all health facilities across the country.
So ZAMSA has received some ACTs, anti-malarial drugs, as well as some IV fluids. Among the antimalarials that have been received is over 1 million treatment courses of artemether and lumefantrine, commonly known as Coartem. And what we've received is for different age groups. Now, as you may be aware, Coartem is the first-line drug in the treatment of malaria here in Zambia.
Mr. Lusaka has also assured that apart from malaria, ZAMSA will continue to distribute more essential drugs to all health facilities.
Distribution run is every day, is an ongoing exercise. So what you are seeing, what we've received, we will make sure that we distribute to all facilities across the country within the shortest possible time. So we do not store medicines here for a long time, because what we store here is meant for the Zambians out there. So the moment they come in and the moment they are clear that they are okay for consumption, then definitely ZAMSA will ensure that we take these commodities to the rightful people that are supposed to use, and that's the Zambians.
ZAMSA has since appealed to health officials involved in the distribution and handling of drugs to guard against theft or misuse, in order to ensure that all Zambians have easy access to quality health care services.
Well, as an agency, we would like to appeal to members of the public, especially the people that are involved in the distribution and use of these essential health commodities, that let us guard jealously against pilferage or misuse of these essential health commodities, because the idea is that these medicines are supposed to benefit the general public, the Zambian people.
Indeed, despite significant progress made in fighting malaria in the last decades, the disease still remains stubborn to be eradicated. Pethias Mutale, Zanis News, in Lusaka.
Northern Province Minister Leonard Mbao has expressed sadness with the poor state of infrastructure at Kalaba Primary School in Lopososhi District. Mr. Mbao, who visited the school, noted with concern the dilapidated infrastructure, which poses a danger to learners. Here's a report.
He has visited Kalaba Primary School in Lupososhi District to check on the state of the school. The Northern Province Minister is however concerned with the state of some classrooms at the institution. The minister has since assured the school of government's interventions.
We are disappointed to see the state of the school, especially the toilet facilities that are here. They are quite pathetic. And also we have also noticed that we don't have desks in the classrooms that are here. And also again there is a directive to say that we are supposed to prioritize the procurement of desks and other issues that have to do with the educational system, because the educational system is one of the pillars that you find under the 8th National Development Plan.
And school head teacher has thanked the provincial minister for visiting the school.
Sometimes they do reject our application forms. These were not accepted.
You took direct to the council?
Yes, we give the WDC chairperson. So when we follow up,
parents also appeal to government to quickly work on the school so that their children can be learning in a conducive environment.
Reporting for
Zanis in Lupososhi, I'm Jafet Munkondia.
Still in education news, Minister of Education Douglas Syakalima has described the late Michael Kelly as a father of Zambian education based on his massive contribution to the country's education system. Mr. Syakalima said it is befitting that Michael Kelly Lecture Theatre has been commissioned to honor the late professor for his great contribution to students and academicians. Speaking during the unveiling and commemorating of the refurnished lecture theatre at the University of Zambia in Lusaka, the minister said apart from his lecturing job, Professor Kelly also worked as a Jesuit priest.
Education helps one develop critical skills like decision-making, mental agility, problem-solving, and logical thinking. This is why the contribution of the late Professor Michael Kelly to the education system of Zambia cannot go unnoticed and unappreciated. Minister of Education and Alan Minister of International Development and Diaspora has commissioned the refurbished Michael Kelly Lecture Theatre in the Department of Education at the University of Zambia main campus.
Professor Michael Kelly was commonly known as MJ, the father of Zambian education, based on the massive contributions as attested by the acting Vice Chancellor of the University of Zambia. Apart from lecturing job, Professor Kelly also served as a Jesuit priest who devoted most of his time to pastoral work in the Unza community and beyond. From an illustrious career of great contribution to the university, Zambia and the world at large, it is befitting. Today, we are commissioning the Michael Kelly Lecture Theatre in the honor of this legend.
The Minister of International Development and Diaspora has assured the University of Zambia of Ireland's continuous support.
I'm taken aback by the quality of work here in this university and in the schools I visited yesterday. And I also want to pay tribute to the university who agreed and supported the proposal to rename this lecture theatre after Father Kelly, which we are very proud. We have assisted to a small extent financing the renovation of this theatre up to now, and I assure you we will continue the support that's required in relation to this facility into future years.
Meanwhile, UNZA Acting Vice Chancellor explained the massive contribution the late Professor Michael Kelly made to UNZA.
Professor Michael J. Kelly was a big name to the University of Zambia and to the global village in terms of teaching, research, and community engagement. Professor Kelly was a mentor of mentors. He mentored staff, students, and even peers, including myself.
In a vote of thanks, UNZA students thanked the government of Ireland for refurbishing the Michael Kelly Lecture Theatre.
A momentous day, not only on the School of Education calendar, but indeed the university calendar. There has been a show of continued commitment by the Irish government towards collaborating and helping the University of Zambia and indeed the country of Zambia as well, a gesture for which we are deeply thankful.
Muna Chibende for Zanis in Lusaka.
African Banking Corporation, ABC Asset Management, a subsidiary of Atlas Mara Bank, has projected a positive economic outlook for the year 2023, which will enhance the country's investment potential. And ABC has also recorded an increase of 361 million kwacha of its total assets in 2022 compared to 254 million kwacha in 2021. ABC Head of Asset Management Nicholas Kabaso has attributed the rise in assets to the key economic headwinds both at local and international levels. Mr. Kabaso was speaking in Lusaka during the annual general meeting for ABC Asset Management. Meanwhile, Mr. Kabaso has also assured investors and clients that a merger between Atlas Mara and Access Bank Zambia will not have an impact on their investments. He added that operations will remain the same, further stating that ABC is committed to serving its clients effectively, offering fixed income, equities, and money markets.
So 2022 was a very unique year because that was a year we saw positive, market sentiments. Soon after we saw, easing down of most of the COVID-19 restrictions. So last year was typically a year that the markets ran without so much restrictions from COVID. But globally, most of the markets have opened up last year, and that's the reason why we saw even the growth trajectory, returning a positive, trend from what we had seen in 2021. So in terms of the global macroeconomic environment, the global growth was growing about 3.1% in terms of GDP for the entire globe. And then locally, Zambia was growing about 3%. Moving on to inflation, the annual inflation obviously has been decelerating, as it were, compared to where we're coming from. Last year, our annual inflation as of 2022 was at 10%, and that was quite a huge drop from what we had seen in the previous year when the economy had ended about 16.4%. Now, the drop in inflation has mostly been attributed to reduction in food prices, and we see this particular trickle-down effect in terms of the overall price rate of increases on the market.
We continue with the news. Now, Lusaka Province Minister Mliata has sent a message of condolences to the families of the 8 people who drowned on Zambezi River in Mozambique on their way to Luangwa district. Speaking during a media briefing in Lusaka, Ms. Mliata said the provincial administration is mourning with the families who have lost their beloved ones in the water accident. Ms. Mliata also assured the people of Luangwa that government will continue updating them on the rescue operations for the remaining body of a Zambian national who drowned. 8 people, who include 5 Zambians, died, while 1 Zambian national survived when the boat they were in capsized due to strong winds on Monday. 4 bodies of Zambian national, who include a woman who was 8 months pregnant, has since been retrieved and repatriated back to Zambia.
And at this time, I also want to send condolences to Luangwa in Lusaka Province for the people that capsized and have died. When I think everything has been done, we will let the province know where we are. We have visited a few schools, and I've been so impressed to know that the teachers are on board, telling the children they need to work in groups, not to work as one. So to the teachers, I want to urge you to continue, even as we close school today, get a message to your children. So parents, arise. This is a time of prayer. Easter is here. Let us pray for the nation. Let us pray for the people of Zambia to be more united. And then I call upon also institutions like the immigration, ZICTA, to be on alert so that all these maybe illegal aliens that are coming to our nation must really be screened, because these new vices of killing are not Zambian. We refuse that. Zambia has always been a haven of peace, and we are known for our peace.
In other news, the first ever media marketing forum for community and commercial radio stations has come to an end, with key resolutions on the need to explore alternative revenue schemes other than advertisements. The Media Market Forum, which drew participations from 19 radio stations supported by Internews Network Zambia under USAID Open Spaces project, was held from 3rd to 5th April. Internews Network Zambia Program Officer and Open Spaces Chief of Party Mek Piri says there is need for media institutions to be enlightened on other ways of media sustainability.
We also hope that it's been quite engaging for you to learn from each other, sharing experiences and networking. We do also hope to do much better in terms of how often we can hold such kind of forums. It is also the hope that for Internews that we can continue trying to brainstorm together and try to see that you're really sustainable and make a great effort to make media great.
The Act has provided 6 minimum standards. So these 6 are like the basic, the minimum. Radio stations or TV stations are at liberty to add to the 6, but the 6 must be there, that must be followed. And these 6 mostly speak to the issues of respecting human rights and different opinions, being tolerant to different opinions. We have been there having unbiased or independent news, something we're just from talking about. We also have in there the issue of correcting errors when they happen.
I think we appreciate the fact that we were in the room with IBA, and this morning we had that very interesting plenary with IBA, and we would want to appreciate internews for that.
In sports news, 17 pupils from Shangombo district have made it to the provincial team that is expected to represent Western Province at the National Inter-Schools Game scheduled for the 10th to 12th April 2023 in Ndola. Shangombo Council Chairperson Inonge Mubika has attributed the success to the government school grants, which has enabled them to conduct zonal competitions. Here's a report.
Stories of the underdogs emerging victorious in sport is not a new thing. Participating for the first time in the provincial inter-schools games held in Kauma district, Shangombo district emerged winner of the track athletics games in Western Province and came out fourth in the overall games, with Nkema leading at number 1.
This shows that talent is not only found in this big town or in areas where we have bigger schools, but even in areas like Shangombo, where we have most of the schools are community schools, we have that talent. So what we can advise is that let these sporting activities be established at school level and be developed so that those talents that are found in those remote areas can be tapped, and then when they're brought here, we are there to show to the outside world that we have this talent in schools in Shangombo. It's pretty sure that among us, our learners or participants from Shangombo, there will be some who are going to be picked and be incorporated in the national team, which will be traveling to Germany during this holiday.
Shangombo Council Chairperson Inonge Mwika is happy that sports has been revamped in schools.
So we are happy that government is able now to make our children participate. It has never happened before, but now because of the grants, even community schools, I'm happy to tell you that even community schools, they are also receiving grants. So this is what we need to do. All the schools are here, they are being represented.
17 pupils from Shangombo district have made it to the provincial athletics team to represent Western Province at the national games to be held in Ndola from the 10th to the 12th of April 2023. Kasuka Sakaimbo reporting, Shangombo district, Western Province.
Here's a reminder of the top stories. Zambia IMF reached staff level agreement. Government receives over 1 million doses of malaria drugs. Zambia's 2023 economic outlook to enhance investment potential. Thank you so much for watching. On behalf of the entire production team, my name is Amos Zulu. Bye-bye.